Imagine this: you're walking through a quiet forest. The sunlight is coming through the trees, casting soft shadows on the ground. You can hear birds singing in the distance, but everything feels still and peaceful. As you reach a small clearing, you see an old master sitting calmly under an ancient tree. His eyes are deep and full of wisdom, like he can see something beyond the surface of the world. He doesn't speak right away, but there's a quiet energy in his gaze. It's as if he's inviting you to sit down and listen. What does it mean to have the master's open eye? It's not about seeing with our physical eyes. It's about seeing the world clearly, without the fog of illusion, judgment, or bias. It's about seeing things for what they truly are, without getting caught up in distractions. In Buddhism, we call this mindfulness or awareness. It's the ability to look beyond the surface and understand life from a deeper, clearer perspective. But to have the master's open eye takes practice. It's about training ourselves to see with wisdom, patience, and mindfulness. There was once a monk who was born blind. He lived in a small temple, practicing meditation every day. One day, he received an invitation to meet a famous master far away. Even though he couldn't see, he decided to go. He didn't need to see with his eyes, he followed his inner sense of direction. When he reached the master asked, "What are you looking for?" The blind monk answered, "I want true vision, the ability to see the world as it really is." The master smiled and said, "Let's see if you can find it." So, the monk stayed with the master for many days, meditating and practicing. On the seventh day, the master asked again, "Have you found what you seek?" The blind monk replied, "Yes. I've learned that true vision doesn't come from the eyes. It comes from the heart. I now see that true vision is not about seeing the world with my eyes, but seeing it with understanding and compassion." What can we learn from this story? The monk teaches us that seeing isn't just about physical sight. It's about how we experience the world, how we observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment. When we're distracted, stressed, or caught up in our emotions, it's hard to see things clearly. But the open eye, this kind of awareness, helps us see past all the noise and distractions. This is the practice of mindfulness. It's about being present in each moment, observing what's happening in our minds and around us, without getting attached or reacting. This kind of clarity allows us to truly understand ourselves and others. There's another story about a master who lived in a busy town. One day, a young man came to him with a mirror and asked, "Master, can you see yourself in this mirror?" The master looked into the mirror and said, "Yes, I can see myself." The young man seemed confused and said, "But the reflection you see looks so different from the one I see in my mirror." The master smiled and replied, "You see, mirrors only show what's reflected. They don't show the truth of who we are. The true self cannot be seen in a mirror. It's deeper than that." This story teaches us an important lesson. What we see on the outside isn't always the truth. The reflection we see in a mirror is just that, an image, a surface. True vision goes beyond the surface and sees the deeper truth of who we are. The master's open eye sees beyond illusions and invites us to do the same. So, how do we develop the master's open eye? It's about practice. Mindfulness helps us see clearly in every moment. We learn to observe our thoughts, emotions, and experiences without getting swept up by them. We don't judge, we don't cling to anything, and we don't push things away. Instead, we embrace the present moment with awareness and understanding. As you think about this, ask yourself, how clearly do I see the world? Am I looking at things through a lens of judgment, fear, or attachment? Or am I seeing the world with an open, clear mind? The master's open eye reminds us that true vision comes from within. It's not about what we see on the outside, it's about how we understand and accept the world, ourselves, and others. Just as the master's open eye sees the truth in everything, we can learn to see more clearly too. It takes time, patience, and practice, but each step we take toward mindfulness helps us see with more clarity and wisdom. The open eye isn't just a symbol, it's a way of being. It's a practice of being present, of seeing the world without attachment, and embracing the impermanence of life with peace and acceptance. So, I invite you to think about how you see the world. How clear is your vision? The path to true vision is always within reach. It's about cultivating awareness and learning to see with the heart, just as the Master's open eye does.